Library Board of Trustees regular meeting is called to order on September 8, 2016 at 7 p.m. Everybody's here for the pledge. Except for me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job.
Roll call. Albers, absent. Berg.
Here.
Kalnay.
Here.
Gonzalez.
Here.
Gray here. Hill.
Here.
Novick.
Here. Okay, first item on the agenda is approval of the board meeting on July 14th. Does anybody have any comments, criticisms, questions? Even though I wasn't here, I have a question. I don't know, under the attendance, also present, the incoming trustee Hill, then under visitors, oh, Mrs. Hill, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize. That is correct.
Yes.
That was all I
Okay.
had. If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes pass unanimously. Public comments, agenda items only. Is there any public? Okay, what I would like to do before we go into the rest of the meeting is do the tour now so Dave can go home. If that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
So it's Dave and Pam's game. So go tour.
So I figure we'll start down here and walk people through. I don't know, I'm assuming you kind of want to see everything. So Dave has agreed to stay and probably will better at kind of leading us through, and if you have specific, more facilities related questions, he can answer
Emphasize
those.
the newest stuff because
Yeah.
there were so many tours and stuff during the building that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and the broken glass.
Yes,
I think you should see what that is.
you'll at least be able to see the cardboard.
I told you to put a poster on it. Got a million of them.
We should use it for, those.
Graffiti.
So Barbara is gonna stay here, so we can probably move our stuff here, and Lance will be here
Okay,
too.
that's good. My
My
phone rings.
Thank you, everyone. Sorry that took a little bit longer. Oh, that's okay.
Okay, president's report, there's no president's report, because there's no president. However, I would like to compliment you on this piece. Yeah, the one that I don't believe I've ever seen it before.
No, we're doing something new. The packets that you received that have the Mine Morton Grove information, the welcome sheet, the little pamphlet, and then information on our book sale. Everything but this book sale sheet will be giving out this packet of information every time someone gets a new card or renews their card.
Or renews your card?
Or renews it, because it's not something we've done before, so we're trying to put together a packet of information about the library, so when people first come in, because sometimes they're not aware of everything that we can do, so we're trying to kind of let people know about the things that we can do.
Give this to some realtors,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
a packet, and then they can give it to,
For prospective homebuyers.
yeah.
Or,
It's gonna sell a home.
I asked about libraries.
Okay,
We were looking
there you
for
go.
different stuff.
There you go.
This
suppose
one
that's not
lives in the
surprising, but-
library, so.
I know she does. I know she does.
Okay, committee reports, finance.
Okay, our finances are good. We have,
That's nice.
in the check register, we have one voided check. Which was, I'll find it. Oh, here it is. 39177.
Oh, okay.
It was, okay, so that's the only voided one that we have.
I had the revistas for $12,000. I just didn't know who that.
That's our magazine jobber.
Oh,
That we
okay.
get on, and that's an annual fee, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's annual?
Mhm. Yep, so
I think
that's,
I
and that,
questioned that
we
one.
get probably 95% of our magazines through them.
Okay.
So that's what that's.
A question about, this was a new one for me. Obviously, it has a lot to do with libraries, Biblioteca.
Biblioteca is the, used to be 3M, it's the renewals for our software and maintenance on the self-checks, the self-check machines. Biblioteca bought 3M, so 3M might be the company that you've heard of, but yeah, so now those will be made out to Biblioteca.
3M is gone?
They're still operating as 3M, but the like
That aspect of
invoicing
it.
and that kind of thing is all going through their main company now, which is Biblioteca.
Hmm.
But that's gonna be for the self-checks and that kind of thing.
Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing.
Any other comments, questions? If not, I need a motion to approve the financial report.
Oh, can I just show you something on this that we were, on the
Year-to-date.
year-to-date one, 2016,
That's
on page,
this one, so yeah.
flip over, down at the bottom where it says 1090-50 and 1090-60, it says principal retirement. We didn't have a principal that retired. Interest and that's the loan.
Oh,
So the 16,000 is what we pay on a loan, and then the interest is obviously the interest we pay. There has to be two separate accounts. So if you have a question on it, I think we're gonna change the name.
Yeah, we're gonna change the name, so, the accountant told us that what I wanted to do was on the income statement, I wanted to show the board the monthly payment for the line of credit that was converted to the term loan. Our first payment for that term loan was July, so this $16,000 reflects the July and August payments on that, and then the accountant said that we had to have a separate line for the principal, so retirement of the principal over time, we'll change that so it says loan or something, so that it's a little bit more self-explanatory, and then the interest for that as well.
Okay, now you can.
I will motion to approve the financial report.
do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Please call the roll.
Berg,
Yes.
Callaway,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Gray, yes, Hill,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Howard is absent.
Okay, facilities, there was no meetings that I know of. Policy committee, or no?
I don't have it here. We had a policy meeting, and it's in my bag. Is it?
Which happens when you wear so many hats.
No, totally forgot about this. The Internet and Technology Use Policy that we discussed, and but we don't have a copy of this in the.
We did not have a copy, and that is my mistake, my apologies. The full board will have to approve this at the October meeting,
Okay,
or the
so
next
we'll-
special meeting. I can put that on there, and I'll make sure that everyone gets copies. I realized that after we met yesterday.
And we met with the revised schedule for the policy committee meeting, whenever.
So instead of meeting monthly, it'll meet every third month.
Correct, 4 times a year.
And we're gonna look at the employee handbook.
Yeah, and we're looking at the employee handbook, which you didn't get a copy
Can't wait
yet,
to get into.
which has been
I'm
revised.
gonna go right home.
A little bit of light reading before you go to bed.
That's not what I'm gonna read tonight.
In case you're having trouble sleeping.
I should do it. Okay, staff reports, director.
Just a couple things that I wanted to emphasize. One thing that is not in my report, that if you have not seen your email, Colleen Ringel, one of our longtime reference librarians, passed away on Sunday night. I have been sending you, that information, and then information about her wake-in service, which is tomorrow. The library has sent a beautiful bouquet to the nursing home the funeral home. From the staff and board, we knew Colleen was ill again, but we were all a little surprised at how quickly she was literally in the library 2 weeks ago. So this is really kind of So there's that. The other news in terms of personnel, we did hire a network administrator who will take over that portion of Kevin's duties. He will be starting full-time on Monday, and Kevin will be staying, he's been working in the mornings, but he'll be working with Ron, the new person's name is Ron Friedman.
Is he a librarian too, or?
He is not a librarian, but he has had extensive experience in libraries. He worked for 12 years at North Lake Public Library as their network administrator and spent 3 years at Oak Park Public Library as well.
So why is he moving?
They did a restructuring at Oak Park,
okay.
and so he left there, but he also has his own consulting company that he does a lot of computer consulting outside of that. But Kevin and I interviewed him, and then the department has interviewed him along with some other library staff, and we interviewed 4 candidates, and we had 2 very, very qualified candidates, Ron and our second choice. And we all just felt that he would be able to come in and hit the ground running. One of our big goals with hiring someone who has the level of computer and network experience, rather than, where Kevin was first and foremost a librarian, and everything that he learned, while it was great, was all self-taught. So with Ron, what we're hoping to do over time, once he gets here and kind of learns everything that we're doing, is minimize or completely eliminate having to contract out with Sickich for our other network stuff. So if we can do that, that would save us a significant amount of money. So we're really super excited, and I think it'll be a good fit. So,
Are you planning on hiring somebody for the role
Colleen?
of, not Kelly?
Oh, for assistant director? At this point, we're not. And I don't think that had been Deborah's intent when she and Kevin had originally talked. I don't know, but I think that we're going to try it this way for a while. I think that we have a strong management team, so in my absence, I think people are comfortable going to Natalia or Courtney or Jeff even, and Dave here is the biggest thing I think. Kevin certainly had the institutional knowledge, the organizational knowledge, but I'm feeling very, very comfortable with Dave's level of knowledge of the facility, where that was also something that I was really reliant upon Kevin, and that was one of my big concerns. But Dave, I feel really super comfortable with that, and so that really makes that decision a little bit easier.
He's been here long enough, I'm sure by now he's figured most of everything out.
Yeah. So as of right now, we won't be replacing the assistant director position.
And Colleen's position?
Colleen's position, Natalia and I have been discussing what her department needs, and so we're looking at some different options. We might not fill that with a full-time position, we might do part-time. We haven't made any decisions about that yet.
I noticed Dan Thorson resigned.
Yes.
Is there any reason?
He got a job working at the Woodson Regional Branch of the Chicago Public Library.
So it's a step up.
It's a step up. It's more of a YA manager position for that branch, and gave him a little bit more opportunity to do some things with outreach to underserved populations and that kind of thing, and more money because of the area that the branch was in and that kind of thing.
So are you looking for somebody?
Yes, that position, yes.
He's got some nice things started.
Yes, he did, and so that position was posted last week, I think, and we've gotten some very, very good resumes already, so we will be replacing that position.
2 shelvers.
The 2 shelvers, we're hiring those as well, so we've got some good applicants for those. But we're looking to kind of do some cross-training with the shelvers. We're going to be training all the shelvers in running the projectors, and also how to kind of manage the book sale books, so that gives them a little bit more variety in their jobs, and helps out the adult services staff a little bit as well.
I see.
So.
The book and record sale, did it do well enough that you're going to repeat it?
It's Saturday, we haven't done it yet.
Oh.
So,
I thought I
we will
saw
see.
results.
Yep, no, it's this
Okay.
Saturday from 10 to 2. Here's your flyer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
else.
you didn't see, but if you look in the Baxter room as you leave, Barbie, you'll see that all the records are out there, and we're gonna all the books and everything out tomorrow.
Couple other things, I had questions. I think it's great that you spent a few hours at
The reference desk?
reference desk. And maybe it's just something to look at for all the desks.
Oh, yeah. Well, reference is easier for me because I was a reference librarian for so many years. And Natalia actually, given the shortages in her department right now, the staffing shortages, she knows that I'm available, when I can to fill in. I am looking for ways to spend some time working in each of the other departments. Like I said, it's easy for reference because that's my background as well, but certainly I can do that in youth services and its as well.
It looks like the,
I was gonna ask about the
Yes.
actuarial valuation, and the number was higher than so that's something for this fiscal year you have to figure out. I assume you're already.
Yeah, the actuarial valuation came in significantly higher than was budgeted for, and by $50,000.
That's a lot.
So that line will go over. We might need to look over the next couple months, moving monies between those account lines. I'll have to find out from the accountant if he will want us to do that, or if he's just comfortable with that we know we're gonna go over in that amount. The reason for that is the person, the firm, Sandra Goldstein, who've been working, and this is for those of you that don't know, so the library and the village actually had, prior to 2005, had a retirement plan that was a private plan through CNA. And when the village made a decision in 2004 or 5 to switch to IMRF, which is Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, which is what a lot of municipalities, public libraries, those kinds of things, use as their retirement vehicle. And employees, both at the library and at the village, were given the option of staying with CNA or to switching to IMRF. So we had a few employees, we had a number of employees that stayed with CNA and a number that switched to IMRF. Over the years, as those CNA employees have retired, there's a couple things that have happened. There's fewer dollars being put into the fund, or people are taking money out of the fund. Sandor Goldstein, which was the actuarial firm person that the village and the library used for the CNA portion of this, made some kind of generous assumptions about both returns on investments and the percentage of the salary increases that employees would get. So Sandor retired last year, beginning of this year, and so the village had to get a new actuarial firm. So they went with Lauterbach and Amon, very respected actuarial accounting firm. And it took them actually several months to kind of figure everything out that Sandor had done over the previous years. But one of the things that they did, at the end, they figured that the assumptions that Goldstein had made were probably optimistic in terms of the returns and salary increases. So just for example, the CNA portion of our retirement that we had to pay, that we budgeted for, or what we thought our current valuation would be, which was $146,000. And then with the revised valuation, it's $223,000. So that's a number. We have to pay that. We have no choice. So my concern when I looked at that after I picked myself up off the floor was that knowing that Kevin was retiring, he was the highest paid person that was still in the CNA fund, and he took his funds as a lump sum. So I was concerned about a few things. We were losing his salary in terms of paying into the fund, him withdrawing things on a lump sum basis. How was it going to affect the assets of the plan and everything like that? So I met with Lauterbach and Amon a couple weeks ago, and they explained to me why the number was so much higher. And then also said, I said, well, my big concern now is I have this long-term employee, he's just retired, this wasn't part of this actuarial evaluation this year. And I said, if every year, is this gonna go up so much more? Or, oh my God, am I gonna, do I have to sign the library's check out to Kevin or something like that? But they made all the adjustments this year. So in subsequent years, we should only see 2 to 3% increases in that amount. Now that's 2 to 3% more than $223,000, which does not take into any account any of our IMRF funds, so we still do have to pay those as well. So, again, I have no choice to pay any of these things. These were decisions that were made a while ago. I don't, quite frankly, know why the village would have allowed people to do both of these things, but they did, and, you know, that's kind of water under the bridge, but, that's kind of the background of that.
From what I gathered, he had trouble talking everybody into the
Yeah,
system.
I mean, you know, it's, I can see for people that have been in it a long time, I mean, it's, you know, six of one, half dozen of another at some point, but, you know, IMRF is funded a little bit differently, and like with IMRF, you don't have the option of taking the lump sum and different things like that, but, yeah, so while the valuation came in higher than we had budgeted for or anticipated, those assumptions that valuation was based on have all been kind of corrected for, you know,
Going forward.
right, both for the amount of, you know, salary increases and the lower return on investments.
On a much more shallow note.
No problem.
I'm glad you caught that webinar and the how to create motivating workplace.
Yeah.
Inspire your team. Is there anything new, inventive?
You know, usual kinds of things that they talk about, but it's always good to get that reinforced. And
And I'm also glad that the park district and the village, the meetings are restarted.
yeah, we're super excited about that. So that first meeting of that kind of intergovernmental council that
It's just,
Ralph
it's
and Jeff and
the,
I are
it's the
really.
directors.
Yes, yeah, or board. So we're kind of, this is our first one that is gonna be in September, so we're gonna talk a little bit about what we want the makeup of that group to be and how we wanna do some of the logistics and that kind of thing. But I know when I interviewed with you guys and everything, and one of the things that we talked about was, you know, how do we get out in the community more? And this was one of the things that I really wanted to do, so I'm really excited about this. And
Yeah,
I think it'll
I
be.
knew that was
And I
happening
knew-
months ago.
Yeah, they talked about it, and then I reached out to them, and we were kind of, it was at the same time, I'm like, this is perfect timing, it's like.
Well, they lost a
directly.
key person
Yeah.
about the same time
Yeah,
we did.
so so I think that it really gives us, I'm hoping this really is a start of some bigger and better collaboration between the library and Park District and Village and other organizations throughout town.
Any other questions about the report? Okay, there's no corporate counsel here tonight, so there's no report. New business, it's yours again.
And this can wait till October if we need it to, but, or we can do it another way. We had a staff in service at the beginning of August, and we did active shooter training, and unfortunately very depressing, but very necessary, and the staff really got a lot out of it. But what came up during that was we had a lot of discussions about the mentally ill, and how do we interact with them as
Shoot 'em.
try not to do that. And but so I've been talking to someone from NAMI, which is the National Association of Mental Illness.
Name
NAMI.
Not-
NAMI, yeah, I can't remember exactly. National
Alliance of
Association of
Mental
Mental
Illness.
Illness.
On mental illness.
Yeah.
I just
So-
applied to them for a volunteer
So
position.
they have a program that they have actually gone to a number of libraries and talked about interacting with people with people who are mentally ill or who have challenges. And so, since this was a really good follow-up to our most recent staff in service, we'd like to schedule another half-day staff in service in December. And we're still working with NAMI about an exact date, so it'll either be December 2nd or 9th. So if the board feels comfortable approving me to make that final decision, or if you want an exact date, we can wait till October, but that's,
I don't see why we would need to.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Made an exact-
So I just need your approval for me to go ahead with whatever
Do we need a
date.
motion on this?
Since you're changing the schedule, we would have to close the
Yeah.
library for that morning.
Yeah,
We should
we
make
should
sure.
have a motion. Would somebody make a motion?
I'll make a motion to close for one half day in December for a staff in service.
Date's still to be
I'll
determined.
Yeah,
second
date
it.
still, no date yet.
I'll second that.
I heard a second, okay, all in favor, is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? passes unanimously. Okay, approve installation of AC unit in server room.
Okay, in your packets, you saw the proposal from Gartner, HVAC, as well as Kevin's write-up, why that's necessary, as well as, for those of you, Barbara, I didn't do this, saw the server room where this air conditioning unit would be going. Because this is just over $5,000, I do need the board's approval to move forward with this.
Why is it just one? Why didn't we don't bid this?
This is not required for bid, and we reached out to 3 or 4 other places who didn't give us a quote.
Oh,
So, but it's not high enough to go out for bid, but we attempted to get multiple other quotes, and this is what we got.
Do you know
Is
anything
this the
about
company that-
This company has, yes, we have worked with this company in the past too.
Yeah, Gardner's been around.
Yeah, I tried reading it.
Yeah,
So the total is $5,625?
yes.
Who's doing the electrical install?
They will be doing that as well. We did consider doing our own electric, but because of what's required, we figure it would cost us like an additional $2,000, Dave estimated. So it was really much more worth it to have Gardner do the whole thing.
so it's 5625,
For
which
everything.
includes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All
They
right,
said if we didn't want to do the electric, they would deduct $718, but we figured
you'd pay
what we would
$2,000.
have to do would end up costing us a couple thousand. Yeah.
I'll move to install a new ductless cooling system in the library server room for a cost of $5,625.
Second.
Any further questions, discussion? If not, call the roll.
Calamag,
Yeah.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Gray, yes. Hill,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Albers, absent, Berg.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, unanimously. Petty cash account, sign authorization.
We made a few changes to our petty cash account that's in conjunction with some other things that I will talk about next as well. But one of the things that has changed slightly is that we've actually made Blanche, we would like to make Blanche a signer on our petty cash account, only that account, not the other ones, which makes it a little bit easier. We've opened a petty cash account with W Financial and gotten debit cards, so we can manage that petty cash account a little bit more easily than we have. We don't have to raise any checks, that kind of thing. But the bank does need official authorization for Blanche to be a signer on that account, so I'm asking the board to approve that.
I don't see a problem with it.
I don't either. I mean,
Anybody?
Do we need a motion?
We do need a motion for that, because the minutes have to reflect that the board approved that.
I would
So-
like to make one.
I was just gonna say, am I writing adding Blanche to petty cash, is that?
Giving Blanche authorization to sign on the
Okay.
petty cash account. Yeah.
Giving her petty cash.
As long as you said that, I'll just second it.
Okay, did I hear a motion?
It was sort of. Stephanie.
Adding Blanche as an authorized signer on the petty cash account, I so move.
Okay, that's what you did in
I'll
Jewish.
Curiously, the money that we make on the record sale, does that go into like a petty cash fund?
Yeah, that will go into, what account will we put that in, Blanche? The book sale money, does that go into
Yeah, it goes into the
petty cash? Yeah.
So should we do it, can we say aye or do we do a roll call?
We do a roll call.
Okay, there's roll call for that.
Money involved in this
Okay.
license.
All right, Gonzalez,
Yes.
Gray, yes. Hill,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Albers, absent, Berg.
Yes.
Me and Blanche.
Calamag.
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, it passes unanimously. Next item, the relocation of all of our various library bank accounts to one institution.
Right, so right now.
We don't have any idea why it was set up.
We do not, and I've actually, so right now, for those of you that aren't aware, the library has several different accounts, and you can see that on your cash statement, and several different libraries, several different banks. And we work a lot with MB Financial, they're a local bank, we get awesome service from them, and they approached us about moving some of consolidating our accounts into one institution, not all into one account, but at least into one institution. My concern with that, and I told them, I said, I think that would be great because it would allow us to transfer monies more easily between accounts. We could log online. I think it'd be easier for us to see a snapshot of the library's financial position. I said, let me check with the auditor. So I checked with our auditor to make sure there was no reason that we had to keep all of our various accounts. And so what we're proposing is that we will have 4 accounts at MB Financial, a petty cash account, the operating account, which is currently at Northern Trust, our payroll account, which is already at MB Financial, and then we'll have a reserve account. And so I emailed all this to the auditor, and I said, is there any reason that from an accounting or auditing standpoint that we couldn't do this? And he said that he concurs with consolidating to one bank, and that the key was to make sure that the library's deposits are fully collateralized, and that would be the large account, the now account that holds our operating funds. And it would be, the now accounts are collateralized by a letter of credit from the bank. And the MB Financial does this with a lot of other municipalities and libraries and that kind of thing. And there also is a small, it does earn some interest, it's not a lot, but it does earn some. So with the board's approval, I would like to move forward with moving our monies into one bank with those 4 accounts.
What banks are we dumping?
We would be getting rid of Northern Trust, Harris, and then once we got these 4 set up, we'll start working on the Illinois funds and the Illinois National Bank, because right now I don't want to mess with that because Illinois funds is its own special animal, but I wanted to get the big accounts set up first. But right now we have Northern Trust, Harris, Illinois National Bank, and MB Financial for 5 or 6 different accounts, and it's kind of crazy pants the way that we have to move monies around.
I realize that, I'm just concerned. I use MB Bank, so it's not personal, but they're a small bank in comparison to Harris and Northern Trust, I don't know.
Right, well, I mean, we're fully protected, we have the FDIC coverage for anything under 250,000. And then the larger, the operating account would be a now account, and that is collateralized, and that's the same exact account that we would have at Northern Trust. So in terms of the protections, it is my understanding that we would be as protected with MB Financial despite their size as we are at Northern Trust.
Questions?
We're not losing a lot of interest by
No,
doing this.
no.
Not that
You've
we
talked to
should.
Mark about this?
I have not, I don't know that I've talked to Mark about this particular.
I question putting all our eggs in one basket.
Okay.
And I have nothing against, in fact, I think Northern Trust Bank is fairly highly regarded. Harris has gone through its share of problems. It's, I think, Bank of Montreal now, which
Yeah,
is a good institution. But, I could see consolidating it, but I don't know, I would like, my own feeling is that I think we should maybe not, I have no accounts at Northern Trust, but maybe to hold something at Northern Trust, just, I think those that we mentioned, I think we're fine with all. I'm glad we had no money at Bank of America or Chase personally. I think they were bailed out by the government, which is us. I'm glad we're not there, so.
So it sounds like we don't want to move forward with this
That's one
at this
person.
point.
It's just me,
I think we
Do
should.
we want to table it?
We can table it.
See what Mark thinks?
Yeah, and if people have questions about it, if you'd like, I can have Brian Lefevre, the auditor, come in and talk about it as well, or even someone from the bank, if you have more questions.
No, mine are just from what I know.
Okay, so, but we can table it.
I'm very pleased with them, they
Yeah,
totally account.
Well, the biggest account there is the operation of,
Yeah.
so,
And
which is very
I've never had a problem with MB. I've been,
our deposit authorities are in our town.
they're in our town, and I do have to say that our dealings with MB Financial have been outstanding. And in fact, there have been a few times throughout the years where because we are transferring monies in between all these different accounts, that, particularly when we're doing payroll, they will say, we see a big withdrawal coming through on your payroll account, you don't have enough money in this account yet. And so they actually have reached out to us, and they've done that a few times when they've noticed that something like that will happen, which I really,
That's good.
it's good for us, because, you know, it helps. I mean, it's not that we're not transferring that money, it's just that when you're going from bank to bank like that, we've got that lag time also that happens with that. But I just have to say, the customer service from MB Financial has been outstanding.
Jack, do you have any comments?
The only, on these accounts, if you can help identify what they are. Now, petty cash, that's a straight checking account?
Right, with that, and we just, with debit cards, that's the only one that has debit cards
Are
associated,
any
but yeah.
reserve accounts held like in certificates of deposit?
The ones that are at PMA,
Mhm.
so the Harris PMA, those are held in certificates of deposit, and you should see those, reports from PMA also in your financial.
That's what's in the beginning, right, the graphs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so those are the only ones that are held in the CDs.
So if you move these over to MB, you'd be putting into their equivalent account?
Right, Harris PMA we would not be moving, because that is actually, PMA, our financial advisors, they actually put that money in there, so that one we don't really touch.
Okay.
So everything else would just be straight kind of.
So essentially,
cash on
age
hand.
won't fit all the way back.
Right, yeah, because the reserves are still gonna be with PMA and they're still with Harris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't have any
See any
objection
problem
with that.
with that,
So
no.
the Illinois funds though, what would your plan be with those in the future?
Illinois Funds has been, like I said, it's its own special beast. It used to be that Illinois Funds was the accounts that all libraries had, because it was where our per capita grants got deposited into, and any electronic payments. So like if we allow people to pay their fines with credit cards or whatever, we do that through Illinois ePay. So that's kind of set up through the Illinois state government. And for a long time when they did that, you could only put those into US Bank. That was the bank that Illinois Funds used. Just at the beginning of this year, they stopped that, and now those funds go into Illinois National Bank, but now they don't have to stay in Illinois National Bank, you can put them to another bank. So libraries are starting to, put them into their own banks that they use. And we would eventually like to get there so that we can eliminate that confusion, because the other thing that happens is that when some of the funds get to a certain level with Illinois Funds, they're automatically transferred into another bank, and it's very, very, very confusing. So I kind of wanted to get this portion straightened out first, and then we were gonna work on the Illinois Funds. But
You want to eventually put that into MBA?
that would be our goal, simply because there's not, like I said, right now the per capita funds get put in there. For us this year, as you know, that was $17,800, $900, I can't remember the exact amount. And then other than that, it's things like fines and fees, that kind of thing. So it's not a huge amount of money coming into there, so.
I think, if we have a general consensus, Mark is just one voice. And I'm all for taking a
I'm
vote.
happy to vote too, I just.
Yeah, I'm happy to vote because you want to get
I'd vote.
this, you want to do this.
Okay.
Then let's have a motion,
Motion to move,
consolidate.
or consolidate the 4 accounts mentioned into one institution.
Second?
I'll second, I'm sorry, or did you second?
No,
I'll second.
I'm
Stay
sorry
out
about
of
my
this.
spelling, Blanche, I know I spelled consolidate wrong.
It's just how it sounds, by the way.
Maybe I spelled it right. Okay, I'm sorry, so David, motion, and Carlotta, okay. Gray, yes. Hill,
Yes?
Novick,
Yes.
Alvarez, absent, Bird,
Yes.
Callahan,
Yeah.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
You've got it.
That, like I said, that will simplify things for Blanche and I very much, and
Then you have your set finance committee special meeting dates for budget discussion and approval under preliminary budget discussion.
I'm
Some order.
No, hopefully we're almost done. So, I know that last year, the board wanted to have a couple of different readings or meetings about the budget, and so,
We have to have one open to the public.
Right,
We have to make
right,
sure
and
that-
I was hoping that I would have at least, the budgets to give to you tonight to start looking at, but with everything else going on, I'm about 85% done with it, I'm not quite finished. But what I would like to suggest is scheduling a special meeting for the first reading, if you will, of the budget, sometime at the end of September, and then with the second reading / approval at the October regular board meeting. So I did check some dates that this room was open. That would be either Monday the 26th, Wednesday the 28th, or Thursday the 29th. I don't know if people are in a position to say if any of those work.
Wednesday would be harder for me, and Thursday, so Monday through Thursday is what you're saying? Wendy?
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Monday would be my preference, Wednesday I could probably do, Thursday I can't.
Are you talking daytime or evening?
It would be the evening,
Regular 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Without every calendar,
Right.
Thursday is 6:30, but
So Monday, September 26th.
Barb is saying Thursday, which I can't do.
You can't do
So you
Thursday.
might not be able to do Monday, is
no,
that what
I
you're saying?
think I could do Monday.
You think you can?
I think
Monday's
it's
fine.
something.
Monday's
Yeah,
fine.
Monday's fine, just.
I can do Monday.
Monday's
Okay.
good.
Monday's a
Can't do
hard
So-
day because
I
it's
can't
after the
do
weekend.
Wednesday.
we'll-
Okay, so it sounds like Monday, September 26th, that will be a special board meeting, and I will get all the budget stuff to you as soon as I get that done, so you have a chance to review that.
7 PM meeting?
Yes, and then that will be our,
September 26th.
yes, at 7 PM. And that would be our first reading of the budget, and then with tentative approval at the October board meeting. I did check with the village to find out when they needed the budget from us, and they're gonna try to get their budgets passed in October as well. Hannah Sullivan, the finance manager at the village, has asked me to do a presentation to the village board on our budget, so I still don't know the exact date of that, but I'm gonna have to tell her it's gonna have to be after October 13th, which I think should work out, because I think the village meets a couple times a month, so,
I just, okay, so we're okay on that.
yeah.
Yeah, I just realized I missed the old business item, committee appointments.
I did speak with Mark, or he left a voicemail for me, and he said he was going to email the board about committee appointments
Oh.
sometime before the October
You
meeting.
had suggested that committees possibly should be 3 people instead of 2 people, because the
Right.
president technically is not
Right.
to be counted. And I was wondering if you wanted to have any discussion on that. The reason being, 2 people is hard to have a meeting, if one's not there.
So
three
right
people.
now, yeah, the bylaws say under committees and duties, each of the committees has 2 people. The president serves as an ex officio member and the library director is an advisor. As we've seen with the finance committee a couple times, is that if the president isn't there or one of the other committee members isn't there, there's only one person. And so, what I am suggesting the board consider, and this is just for consideration, because obviously you can't vote on this tonight, is that we look at the bylaws, just this section, and committees should probably be 3 people, and the president would be an ex officio 4th person, because really, you can't have a quorum of 2 people. So,
If there's a general consensus, I think it should go under new business next.
Yeah. so I mean, if people are comfortable with that, I can look at kind of rewriting that section,
Yeah,
of the
it's just
bylaws,
one word.
and then you can vote on approving that, and then we can talk more about the committee.
Lance has a copy. Lance, you have a copy on your computer, because I sent
Yeah,
it to you.
yeah, so we'll-
Yeah.
But it would just be that section.
Yeah, just have one article.
So, and I think that,
It's all 3 committees, that's.
right, right.
Um,
But
One
he
other-
did say that he would be emailing about the committee
One other
appointments as
thing
well.
I would like to put on next month's agenda is reenacting the foundation. I I think we shouldn't lose track,
Right.
but it was just starting to
Yep.
show good signs and it's been dead for too long.
Yeah, and I have a few ideas about foundation things as well. And
I don't
just
even
as
know what
a,
it means at this
yeah,
point.
but as a point of interest, I don't know if everyone realizes this, but the Illinois State Legislature did approve the sale of alcohol on library property, or the consumption of
Oh, isn't that big
alcohol.
of them?
So that if we wanted to do something similar to what the foundation had done, like with the tasting, if we, and I know that was a really successful event, but we won't have to jump through quite as many hoops,
Oh, that's what-
if we decided to do something like that in the future, so.
Yeah, if you could, check with Brenda if she's still interested.
Yeah, and Brenda and I have been talking about a few different things, so.
You wanted to get it onto
Yep.
the agenda. Okay, are there any communications that have come around?
Not this month,
Okay, public, no public,
not public.
executive session, no need, therefore,
I'll motion to adjourn at 8:25.
I have a second.
I'll
Second.
second it.
We're adjourned.